Hi, Virgo, Sun, Moon, Ascendant, or Venus. This is Dane, and I'm going to be doing your January 1st to the 15th, 2022 reading for you. Now, I ask if this reading resonates with you, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. If you're interested in any of the cards that I'm using, they will be listed and linked in the description box below. Now, before we begin this reading, let us clear the energy space, raising our own energy vibration and releasing any negativity. So take a nice deep breath in, exhaling whenever it feels comfortable for you. Releasing all negativity from the body like storm clouds, letting yourself feel calm, centered, and at peace as we enter into this safe and loving space. Let's see what the tarot has to say. Virgo, January 1st to 15th, 2022, Virgo. Angels and spirit guides show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly, angels and spirit guides. Guide this reading and show me clearly, angels and spirit guides. Angels and spirit guides show me clearly. Okay, so at the bottom is our rooted self. The left-hand side is our inner self. The middle, our heart, our emotional self. The right-hand side, the public arena, the public self. So let's see what the cards have to say. We have the Hierophant, which is Taurus energy, and we have the Hangman. So if we have Taurus within our natal chart, this comes through very powerfully at our rooted self. This part of our personality will come through very strong. Then we have the Empress, which is beautiful, and we have the Hermit, which, Virgo, we are represented by the Hermit in the major arcana. We're represented by the Pentacles in the minor arcana. So the very essence of ourselves is coming forward as we're birthing something forward into the world, also as we're nurturing, developing, growing, and understanding the world around us, the people within our lives, ourselves personally. That's going to be a big thing here. We then have the Hangman again. I would just like to point out that right now we only have major arcana cards, which, yes, this deck right here is only a major arcana deck, or actually only has the major arcanas being used. But these three cards, they're part of a full deck. So be mindful of this. This is an intense time. We then have the Knight of Swords, which is a court card, another intense card. This is air sign energy, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. So if we have air sign energy within our natal chart, this is coming through very powerfully at our heart. So the heart and the mind are coming together, which is quite a good thing. Then we have Justice, another major arcana card, and we have the Ace of Cups, which is an ace card, and that is going to be very powerful. The Ace of Coins, I do apologize. The Ace of Coins is a gift just for us. It's prosperity, it's success, and it is bounty. So this is an intense time just from the cards that are here. Nothing is a small player, so nothing is going to be small during this time. So just be ready for it, be mindful of it, and also know that a lot is coming forward. Again, Libra energy is represented by the Justice, also Knights, is represented by the Swords in the minor arcana is Libra, and Justice in the major arcana. So strong Libra energy right here, and if we have that within our natal chart, it's coming through very powerfully in the public arena. Also, Justice is going to be very important for us, a certain way that things should be done, need to be done, how we need to understand things. That's going to be a game changer for us during this time. But we also have to be, okay, so not being so quick to judge. and not being so quick to be judged. That's going to be very important for us. A sense of somebody taking their time, looking at things, understanding. That's going to mean a lot to us during this time. So let's look at the energy we need to be mindful of. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Ooh, right there, the Prince of Cups. So this is water sign energy, Pisces, Scorpio, Cancer. This is emotional immaturity. This is a sense of just thinking that if I just keep on pushing and emotionally guilting, I will be able to get what I want. And this can work. This can definitely work on us, especially if it's somebody young, especially if it's somebody that we think, oh, they're still learning, they're still understanding. We can be cutting them one break after another. So do be mindful of this. This is also going to be a person who hasn't really thought things through. They just feel like it's going to be right. Now, yes, that can work out. It can, but there's also going to be a need for a little bit more research, a little bit more backing to things, which could be why this person is coming to you, because as an earth sign energy, you are much more grounded than a water sign energy, but there's going to be a little bit too much leaning, and this person has to do their own research, has to figure things out also on their own. Maybe not the whole thing, but step up and take responsibility. That's going to be important. Let's look at our chakra energy. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. This is forgiveness, the heart chakra. This is a powerful one. So when the heart chakra comes up and we need to connect for forgiveness, this is saying not everything is perfect, right? And so when we're forgiving others, and that can seem rather magnanimous. I'm forgiving this other person. Or it can also seem like it's also on the other person. Like, I need to forgive them, and that's what makes me a good person, and that's what helps move things forward. And so we can say, okay, I can do that. But when we need to forgive ourselves, which is super important, when we need to look at ourselves and say, I forgive you, that can be really hard, because there could be this sense of, well, I didn't do anything wrong. Yes. But our inner soul can be really in turmoil because it feels like I should have been able to prevent this. Whether it was something that happened that was completely out of our control, whether we were too young, whether we were too naive, whether we were too much in love, it doesn't really matter. What we need to look at right here and right now is the sense of forgiveness for ourselves. The sense of we were going to make mistakes and things were going to happen that are outside of our control. And we need to be kinder to ourselves. And that's going to be really important for us, Virgo, because we're holding on to a lot here. And we can see this in our, inner self. We're holding on to a lot and we're thinking, okay, I just have to guard this. But once we turn inward and once we release, we're going to find that we're actually set free. And that's going to be something that's huge for us, to be able to be free, to be able to move forward, to be able to breathe, and really just connect with us and what we want and what we need for our lives. Now, let's talk about things astrologically speaking. On the 1st of January, we have the Sun trine Uranus, and this is a wonderful way to start the new year. This is a time when we are comfortable standing out. We're comfortable standing in our own skin. We're embracing who we are. We have no problem, expressing our individuality. And we should also really just let ourselves shine. There's going to be a sense of maybe I shouldn't be so much me, but you know what? It's time that we say, I love who I am. I see who I am, and I get to shine as who I am, not when I lose 10 pounds, not when I, finally get everything all situated, not when, this is right or that is right and everything is just perfect, because those times never come. And then we find out we've just cut ourselves out of all the pictures, and we just, we don't get to shine. We don't get to show up. And Spirit is saying it's time for us to show up. We will also be in tune with the world around us, and we need to be able to understand that a lot of our insight, a lot of the knowledge that we're getting is going to be through our dreams. So that's going to be very important. Also on the 1st of January, we have Mercury trine the North Lunar Node. Now we're ruled, Virgo, by Mercury. So whenever Mercury comes up, this is very powerful for us because we're ruled by Mercury. Taurus here is ruled by Venus, and so is Libra. So what is it? Starts with Venus. There we go. Venus energy is going to also be very important for us during this time. So being aware of that also is going to really help us traverse astrologically everything that's going on. So this is another powerful and positive alignment, Mercury trine the North Lunar Node, and it's going to have a very powerful effect on us. This is a time where they say, our our purpose echoes between the north and south lunar nodes. And also, the north lunar node is known as the head of the dragon in astrology, and the south lunar node is known as the tail. So we're going to be figuring out a lot of about ourselves, and we're coming through here as that dragon in our inner self. So there's going to be a lot of knowledge, a lot of understanding, just kind of vibrating through our bodies, helping us to gain a presence and a purpose and an insight into who we are and how we're moving forward. This will be a time where we enjoy figuring this out, the whys and the how comes, about ourselves, about the people around us, about, where it is that we want to be. We also are not going to take things as personally on this day, so that's going to be really good. On the 2nd of January, we have the new moon, and the new moon is going to be in Capricorn, so that's going to be important, and there will be a separate video done on this. The 2nd of January also has Mercury entering into Aquarius. Now, again, we're ruled by Mercury, so Mercury plays a big part for us. Mercury loves being in Aquarius because it's a very positive energy space for Mercury to be in. Now, on the 14th of January, Mercury is going to be going into retrograde. So this is a time where it could really throw us, right? We're really happy. We can feel our communication is great. Ruled by Mercury, people who are ruled by Mercury, they like it when Mercury is in Aquarius. You can feel kind of more on your game than you were before. But when Mercury goes into retrograde, oh my gosh, can we feel just kind of like hit for a loop. So do be mindful of this. On the 5th of January, we have Venus sextile Neptune. Venus comes through very strongly for us because we have Taurus and we have Libra. Both are ruled by Virgo. So both are ruled by Venus. There we go, Virgo. This is a passionate day where we need to express our feelings. We are going to be highly creative and enjoy surrounding ourselves with beauty. Also, because we have Taurus at our root, we're really going to enjoy surrounding ourselves with beautiful quality things. We are also going to exude a charm that will make us very attractive and also kind of easy to get along with. So use that to our advantage. Self-care and pampering on this day will really go a long way to enhancing our mood and enhancing our energy vibration. Again, because we have Taurus at our root, that is going to be doubly true for us. On the 8th of January, the Sun is conjunct Venus. Again, Venus coming through very strongly because of Taurus and Libra energy. This is the personification of love and of peace. We need to surround ourselves with beauty and give ourselves permission to express our emotions, because a lot of times during this time, that's going to be a really hard thing for us and also for everybody to express their emotions, to say, this is what I want, this is what I need, this is how I need to move forward. This is a time when low energy vibrational people will have a huge effect on us in a negative way. We're going to look at them and we're going to think, why are you affecting me? Or why are you making me feel uncomfortable? Or why are you pulling me down? And that's because we're just way more sensitive to it on this day than on other days. We also have to be mindful, because of our profound sensitivity, of the people that we let into our lives. On the 10th of January, Mercury is trine Chiron. Mercury is trine Chiron. Now, again, we're ruled by Mercury, so whenever Mercury comes forward, it's going to be very powerful for us. This is a harmonious aspect that helps us heal ourselves and others. We have to make sure that we're not taking it kind of to the next level and saying, okay, I just have to heal everyone and it's all about me nurturing everybody else, because we do have the Empress card, so we can really embrace the nurturing aspect of ourselves on this day, and we can really drain ourselves. So just being mindful of this is going to be very important. We will have a talent for saying the right thing at the right time, which is always beneficial in life. We will also need to follow our own ideas and embrace ancient wisdom. So that sounds a little contradictory. We're going to need to follow our own ideas, period. That's going to be very important to us. But we're also going to find a lot of inspiration, a lot of guidance, a lot of greater understanding through ancient wisdom that really helps us in our present day. And that's also going to be very beneficial for us. On the 11th of January, we have the Sun sextile Neptune. Now, this is a powerful creative time that should be utilized. If we don't utilize it, that's okay. But really, here there's a spark to us, and because we're supposed to create something and bring something forward, this can be the perfect day for it. Neptune makes us highly sensitive to our surroundings, so we must be mindful of who we associate with and our surroundings. Again, that's a theme of this time. From the 1st to the 15th, we have to be choosy about who we're letting into our sphere of being. There is also a lot of psychic potential on this day that can be overwhelming if we're not ready for it. So just being aware of that. On the 11th of January, we also have Mars squared Neptune. Now, this alignment brings a profoundly varying energy. On the one hand, we have the positive energy of bravery and glamour, and then on the other hand, we have intrigue and scandal that can come forward. Kind of think of Hollywood. All that glitters isn't gold, and that's really going to be true also on the 11th. So here, this is a time to listen to our inner voice and to really stand apart from the chaos of the world, because it'll be so easy just to be drawn into everybody else's trauma drama. And if we're not standing in our own being, in our own self, really saying, what do I want? We can get sucked in. And even if we do get sucked into everybody else's trauma drama, we need to step back in it or look at it and say, that wasn't my fight. That wasn't what I needed to waste my energy on or be a part of, and understand that. Just coming to that realization is going to be really important to us. Now we have the 14th of January, and this is Mercury going retrograde, which again is powerful for us, Virgo, because we are ruled by Mercury. Now, we will have a lesser impact of Mercury going into retrograde. It won't be as powerful for us until the 25th. Okay. So this is for everybody. Everybody is going to feel like, okay, Mercury retrograde, I feel it, I sense it, I get it, but we're not going to be totally devastated by it or feel as overwhelmed by it, because Mercury is in Aquarius, and that's going to be a kind of chill place where Mercury likes to be. But after the 25th, we have Mercury moving out of Aquarius, and Mercury remains in retrograde till the 3rd of February. So this is going to be a time where we're like, wow, I was doing really well, and then I just got hit in the face by this energy, by this Mercury retrograde. So being mindful of that is going to be very important. At our root, we have the Hierophant. The Hierophant is the Pope in the Rider-Waite-Smith deck. It is depicted by the Pope, hence the hat. Now, in medieval times, the Pope was the most powerful person. And so this is a time where we're embracing the most powerful aspect of ourselves at our root. And we're going to find that it opens up doors for us. The kingdom of heaven becomes ours. The kingdom of what we are striving for, what we desire, what we want, and what we're looking towards within our lives and selves become ours as we connect more and more with who we are. This is also saying we have to stand to our traditions, not the traditions that we were born into, not the traditions that, of orthodoxy. This is the tradition of our soul and ourselves. If I go against this, I feel less than. If I don't embrace who I truly am and embrace what my soul, feeds off of, I feel less than. And we're going to kind of feel that more because of the Hierophant energy being at our root. And this is going to be a time where we want things to be of quality. We would rather have less than something and have it be more kind of quantifiable, have it mean more in our lives than have more of something and have it not mean as much. So just be aware of this during this time. This sense of also following our traditions, following what is true for our hearts and our souls and the power of ourselves leads us to the Hangman. We see things so differently, and we're going to think, oh my gosh, I'm wrong. I should be seeing things just like everybody else. But the Hangman comes in, and because we have this connection with the heart, our heart is coming in, and we're going to see our grounding energy, of being an earth sign, that energy that plants us into the ground, that lets us connect, that energy that also says, sometimes I just need to kind of step back and take things in. We're going to see things differently than we have been seeing them before. We are going to see things differently than people around us. Our first instinct, Virgo, is going to go, oh my gosh, I'm wrong. And yet Spirit is saying here that we're not wrong, that a lot of times we have a fear of being as open with ourselves as we need to be, of saying what it is that I truly want, how it is that I truly want to move forward. And this is a time where our inner self is saying we are nurturing and birthing forward something really quite extraordinary. The Empress is the psyche of the mother, right? And so we can sit there and say, okay, if I had a bad relationship with my mother, that might not be good. Excuse me. And we can find that that is true, that sort of trauma dramas that we have had around women can come up during this time if we are not careful, okay? And we can kind of fall into that same pattern of disharmony, okay? So that's going to be something that, yes, could be what we have to look at during this time, and really have to look at what is true for me, what do I desire, what do I need that moves me forward to something more. With the Empress coming forward also, there is a sense of I am pregnant with possibility. And I'm letting that possibility come forward. Now, that possibility might come forward in being highly fertile during this time, which could be a great thing or not so great a thing. So just be mindful of this. for ourselves during this time, but there is also this sense of, what do I need to create? What do I need to bring forward into the world that I've just been sitting on, that I've been holding back, that I am not sure if I am brave enough to bring it forward, or I'm not sure if it will be received. But the act of simply doing it, the act of simply connecting with it, is going to be so important. Not letting that dream just sit in the shadows of our closet, in the shadows of our own mind, being able to embrace it, being able to bring it forward, being able to be brave. That's extraordinary. And here with the Hermit also, as our next card, not only does it represent us, like we need to do this, but it's saying we turn inward. And the thing that's always so surprising about dragons, dragons are giant lizards that fly from the sky, fly in the sky and shoot fire. But they are also the personification of what we most fear, right? We as human beings most fear, one of the aspects that we most fear, and that take away what we most value. Gold, jewels, medieval times, maidens, that all had to be sacrificed to the dragon. What are we sacrificing for ourselves, to ourselves, to hold back our dreams, to hold back what we desire? Because it is too much, it is too scary, it is too overwhelming to put ourselves out there, to take the next step, to truly embrace what we want for our world and where we want to be. So this is going to be a time where we have a little bit of a war going on within us. How do I move forward? How do I embrace what I want? How do I get to that next level? The Hangman then comes in our hearts, because we're seeing things so differently than before, and emotionally we can feel caught between the world of the conscious world and the world of the subconscious world, the world of spirit and the world of everyday waking reality. And this can be something that is a little bit traumatic for us, a little bit overwhelming for us, and it can be something that also we have to forgive ourselves for as we're moving forward. Like, I thought I was in harmony with myself, and then I realized that I wasn't, or I thought I was heading in the right direction, but it's just not right anymore. I just can't embrace it. I don't understand it. And here with the Hangman, things are changing, and there can be a different idea that we need to embrace as we're moving forward. There can be, a different way of looking at things, a different way of seeing ourselves that really helps us embrace the next level. And it brings us to the Knight of Swords. It's like all of a sudden this realization comes through. And then the Knight of Swords comes forward, where it's like, action, just go for it, go for it, go for it, which is fantastic. But we need to make sure that we're not just being rash. And I laugh because as we embrace air sign energy, it can feel like just doing something is better than doing nothing. And that's not always the case. Like sometimes, when your stove breaks and you decide, I'm going to fix it myself, you really break the stove instead of just waiting for somebody to come and fix it, type of deal. So here, it's kind of like, am I moving forward because I'm just tired of standing still? Or am I moving forward because I am inspired? Am I moving forward because I get to see me, and I'm starting to see me and connect with me for the first time in a long time? And we're cutting through doubts and fear. So when we embrace the Knight of Swords in a very real, honest, beautiful way, first of all, we start to really embrace our throat chakra. And secondly, we really start to charge forward in knowledge. This is cutting through the doubts and the fears. It's slaying the demons, the dragons that hold us back. It's cutting through the poison of the world. It's elevating our energy vibration, elevating our consciousness, and starting to awaken a part of ourselves that has been in slumber too long. And that's going to be something that's really powerful. It's like this awakening that starts to change things, and it brings us into the public arena, and we're going to be worried, like, am I being just? Am I being fair to everyone? Am I doing things the right way? Am I embracing things the way that I should be embracing? Now, this can also be court difficulties. This could be a person of authority having a little bit too much say over our world, over ourselves, and us kind of chafing against it. It's like, it's not going to be black and white. It's not going to be white page, black print. You can read about it in a book, and then it all just makes sense. It's kind of like following the letter of the law instead of the spirit of it. It's kind of like when you tell your kid to pick up their toy, right? And so they pick up their one toy, they don't pick up all their toys. And you look at them and you think, okay, fair, but now let's really clean this all up. And that's going to be the way that we look at this. It's going to be, okay, fair, that is kind of what I said, and it can be interpreted that way, but we're going to really have to get to the heart of things during this time. And we're going to want more. We're going to want more than just a lip service or a basic understanding of anything. And this is going to be a time where it's really important for us to embrace what we desire, and to embrace where we need to be, to embrace what we're looking for, and to be just to ourselves and not to judge. to be just to the energy that is right for our lives, and not simply say, well, it has to be like this. And Spirit is saying here, don't shame yourself, don't doubt yourself. Look at what it is that your heart is longing for. Look at what it is that feels absent as we are trying to create, as we are looking at things differently. What do I value? And why is it that I want to, like, once I see it, I want to just charge forward into it? But fear comes forward. And it's because we're overthinking, we're overanalyzing. And again, don't be too rash, but don't be too cautious. It's going to be that middle ground that sounds like, Dane, this isn't any help. But Spirit is saying here, it is help, because we start taking that step forward. And as we start taking that step forward, we start finding ourselves. Like the darkness starts to move. And it brings us to the Ace of Coins. It brings us to prosperity. It brings us to success. It brings us to abundance. It brings us to a new chapter opening. And God, Source, Spirit, however we see the divine, the universe, handing us this gift. It's like the seed. How are you going to plant it? The seed, how are you going to nurture it? How are you going to move forward with it? How are things going to change within your life for yourself? And this is a time where we look at even the seeds that have been planted within us that we might never have known. The way Spirit has put us in certain situations that we think, why do I have to be in this situation? Or why am I having to stand up for myself this way? Or why is this so complicated? And it's because we're not going to settle. We want something more. And so much of our world is about settling. It's about settling for halves or even less than. And this is a time where, as we walk into this new beginning and as we embrace this abundance, where it's like, I'm not settling anymore. I'm not selling myself short. And yes, we will have to make compromises. And yes, we will have to come to middle ground with people. But it's not going to be at the expense of who we are, what we love, and what we desire from our lives. Our subconscious energy to be mindful of is the Prince of Swords, is that energy of, I'm just going to charge for it. And, the devil may care. I don't care. Let's just keep going. And we're going to be really attracted to that energy too, that energy of passion, that energy of fire, that energy of, the air just moving us forward and going and changing and being. That's going to be something that's very attractive to us. So acting that way is going to be very attractive to us, but we have to be mindful, and having people around us in life that act that way, again, very attractive. We're going to think, wow, that's a goer, that's a doer, that's somebody who's embracing so much more. And we're going to find out that maybe they're just running away, or maybe they don't have things as figured out as they thought they did. We tend to put a value of massive success at a very young age, but we don't always look at what happens, and a lot of times we don't look at what happens to that person as they grow, what happens to that person as they're developing. And so a massive success when we're really young can be awesome, but we could have spent all that money by the time we're 30. We could have spent all that money by the time we're 50, and then what the heck do we do? Or made some bad investments, had people scam us, cheat us. What do we do? And so a slow and steady build towards stability, which I know is not something that we like to talk about, but stability instead of this massive, overwhelming, kind of movie star, rock star sort of success, that means something. To be able to not worry about putting the lights on, about putting food on the table, about, where the next meal is coming from, that's important. And yet it's like, oh, well, we're supposed to be like that. And so many of us aren't. And so when we get to that point where it's like, I don't have to worry, I don't have to fear, I can embrace success and give, nice gifts if I want to, that's something to be proud of. That is something to really honor and cherish. Not say, oh, well, that's expected. No, it's not. No, it's not. And it moves us to our subconscious chakra energy, and that's grounding. It's being grounded into our world. This is the Earth Star Chakra, located 6 inches below our feet. It's grounding ourselves in our own reality. It's grounding ourselves in what we want from our lives. It's making sure that we're nourishing ourselves, that we're not just, having, that the soil isn't dead. If you have a potted plant and they've taken all the nutrients out of the soil, you have to repot that plant. And that's what Spirit is saying here. Like, have we taken all the nutrients out of where we are right now? And do we have to kind of be like a Tolkien Ent and stand up and walk to a new spot and say, this is where I'm planting my roots. This is what is right for me. It might be kind of right next to where we were before, but because the soil isn't depleted, it's nourishing, it's bountiful for us. So this is going to be very important. We might be making very small changes, but in the long run, they become very powerful, very prosperous changes for us. It moves us to our subconscious rooted energy, and that's the Fool. The Fool is saying, take that new beginning. I mean, we are starting. This is the first reading for 2022. 2022 is the angel number 222, the time of new beginnings. And this is a time where we're looking at things and we're saying, I need to go for it. I need to jump. I need to see. I need to embrace what may happen. And yes, I will fall. And yes, we will fail. That's what we do as human beings. But do I learn? Do I get up? Do I keep going? Or do I let it define me? Do I let it hold me back? And the Fool is saying, take that risk. You know, anybody who is anybody who becomes a hero, anybody who becomes an entrepreneur, anybody who kind of goes against the grain and embraces their life the way that they want to, whether it's moving off the grid or, you know, restoring old farmhouses or, you know, starting a farm yourself. If you go against the grain of what people say is successful and you start to embrace your own idea of success and your own sense of bliss, you are a fool. You are a foolish person who can't possibly understand. It is not until you are successful that you are the hero of the story. And we see that in the hero's tale, right? We see that in the face of the hero. They are the person who is mocked because they are going to do something that is extraordinary, that is against the grain. And this is a time for us to say, all right, I might be mocked, I might not be understood, but am I going to let other people's opinions trump my own opinion of myself and where it is that I want to be within my life? It moves us to our subconscious inner self, and that is the Four of Swords. We need to rest. We need to take in all the information. We need to honor our story, which is something we're going to find a bit hard to do because we're going to think, oh, well, just should have kept on pushing forward. And the failures aren't something to be honored. They're something to be hidden. No. A good story, a good movie, a good book, you know, they have a story to them. They have a substance to them. And that's what draws us in. You know, a good comedian builds up that story. Even a good song builds up a story. So here, that's what we need to embrace. We need to embrace the story. We need to embrace the bounty of it. And understand and honor our journey. Honor everything about us. Honor how far we've come. But let us rest as well. Don't keep on pushing and pushing and pushing and then being like, I don't know why I'm tired. Because we're not honoring our journey and we're not honoring our bodies. It moves us to our subconscious emotional self, and that's the Seven of Swords. This is being aware of betrayal. We have been betrayed before. And this is gathering up our knowledge, gathering up our understanding, and moving forward. We're leaving some things behind. Our inner child is going to be carrying some things forward for us that we're going to need to look at and say, why is that still here? You know, we might think, oh, that's a reminder. That person was giving me some real harsh life lessons that I needed to really understand. And it was a good kind of kick in the teeth to be able to get to where I need to be. And sometimes, yes, that's true. But sometimes a person was just mean and hurtful and hateful because they were so frustrated within their own lives that they let it spill over onto you. Why are we carrying that hurt, that pain, that hatefulness forward? It moves us to our subconscious public arena self, and this is the Eight of Cups. The Eight of Cups is walking away. It's not having everything topple over and just be terrible. It's saying, I'm walking away from what I once thought I would love. I'm walking away because I'm worth more. I'm walking away because this doesn't bring me any joy. I'm walking away because it's an ending. Now, it can feel like a traumatic ending at the time. It can be a divorce. It can be an end of a relationship. It can be a changing of jobs. Yes, or a firing, you know, it can be really, really intense. This can even be something that we're still learning how to walk away from that happened years ago. Could have happened 8 years ago that we had this trauma come into our lives. And now we're starting to see that the cups weren't spilt. We're starting to see that the hurt and the pain that we have been through has honed us in a way that we never would have grown if it would have been easy. It brings us to a place of power, but it also brings us to a place of understanding. An understanding of ourselves and an embracing of the power of the ability to change our own lives. All right, Virgo. I hope this reading has resonated with you. I wish you nothing but light, love, peace, and happiness. May harmony always be with you. I'm sending loving, healing energy to each and every one of you. I love you all, and stay safe. Let's end this reading with a meditation, a clearing away of negative energy, a raising of our positive energy as we embrace the power and the intensity of this time. So take a nice deep breath in, exhaling whenever it feels comfortable for you. May you move forward in peace and in harmony, Virgo.